we are going to cover some questions with their brief explanation, which is very important for your railway pharmacist exam. So here we have a first question is, impaired vision is an adverse effect of, option A is carbamazepine, option B is ethambutol, option C is rifampicin, option D is cholecystine. So impaired vision is an adverse effect of which drugs? And the correct answer of this is ethambutol having impaired vision as an adverse effect. So let's discuss with the help of explanation that each drug having their adverse effect. For carbamazepine, the hypersensitive reaction, neurotoxic, and Jarvis eczema reaction as adverse effect. For rifampicin, abdominal syndrome, flu syndrome, cutaneous syndrome, and respiratory syndrome, and hepatotoxicity and discoloration of urine is the adverse effect. Students, sometimes the question may also ask that what is the adverse effect of rifampicin main, that is a discoloration of urine. And next one is ethambutol is having impaired vision, which is asked in the question, and cholecystine is having the renal toxicity as a major adverse effect. So the correct answer is ethambutol having the impaired vision as an adverse effect. So moving on the next question, chloramphenicol is obtained from, option A is Streptomyces venezuelae, option B is Streptomyces typhi, option C is E. coli, option D is Salmonella typhi. So chloramphenicol is obtained from, and the correct answer is chloramphenicol is obtained from Streptomyces venezuelae. And here we have an explanation on this, that chloramphenicol is a broad spectrum antibiotic that was derived from the bacterium Streptomyces venezuelae and is now produced synthetically. And chloramphenicol stops bacterial growth by binding to the bacterial ribosome, blocking peptidyl transferase and inhibiting protein synthesis. It inhibits the protein synthesis. So the correct answer is Streptomyces venezuelae. And the next question is, an anticholinesterase which is useful in Alzheimer's disease is, and the options are, option A is ericoline, option B is donepezil, option C is isoproterenol, option D is cleoquinol. So an anticholinesterase which is used full in Alzheimer's disease, and the correct answer is, which the anticholinesterase which is useful in Alzheimer's disease is donepezil. So let's discuss with the help of explanation that in Alzheimer's disease there are these drugs: donepezil, rivastigmine, tacrine, galantamine, or adrofonium or ecothyphates are used. Students, sometimes the question may also ask from these options, so try to just learn these. And these drugs are all cross blood-brain barrier. That's why they are used in Alzheimer's disease, because it's a brain-related disease where there is a deficiency of tau protein. It is related to the type tau protein. So moving on to the next question, Anand is a son of Prema, Rajiv is a brother of Prema, Neha is a daughter of Rashmi, and Neha is a sister of Rajiv. How is Anand related to Rashmi? And the options are, option A is son, option B is grandson, option C is grandfather, or option D is granddaughter. So which relation, or how Anand is related to the Rashmi? So according to this blood relation, the correct answer is grandson. So how it is possible? Let's discuss with the very just students, observe this. Just observe this solution, that Neha is related to the Rashmi is related to the Neha, and Neha is related to the Rajiv, and Rajiv is related to the Prema, and Prema is related to the Anand. So Rashmi is having a grandchild named Anand. So grandchild. From the diagram, it is clear that Anand is the grandchild of Rashmi. So moving on to the next question, that arrange the following words according to the dictionary order. approach, appropriate, approval, approve, and the options are given. So the correct order is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is approach, appropriate, approval, and approve. This is the word according to the dictionary order. So next question is, vocal cord is located in the, options are, option A is pharynx, option B is trachea, option C is larynx, or option D is bronchi. So vocal cord is located in the, and the correct answer is it is located in the larynx. So just learn about the vocal cord. Here we have explanation, detailed explanation. So you can, that vocal cord also known as vocal folds, and are folds of tissue in the throat that are key in creating sounds. Vocal cords help in creating sounds through vocalization, and the size of vocal cord affects the pitch of voice. So when we breathe, it opens and vibrating on speech or singing, and the folds are controlled via vagus nerve. And the vocal folds are located within the larynx, which is asked in the question, at the top of the trachea. They are composed of twin enfolding of mucous membrane stretched horizontally from back to front and across the larynx. They vibrate, modulating the flow of air being expelled from the lungs during the phonation. So here we have just pictorial diagram for showing that it's a vocal cord, showing that it is an open and it is a closed, located in the larynx, below just above the trachea. So moving on the next question, selective COX-2 inhibitor is, and the options are, option A is meloxicam, option B is paracetamol, option C is atorvastatin, option D is nebumetone. So selective COX-2 inhibitor is, and the options, and the correct answer is atorvastatin. Atorvastatin is a selective COX-2 inhibitor. So here we have just a classification of NSAI drugs, that the first one is the non-selective COX inhibitor, second is COX-2 inhibitor, and is analogous selective COX-2, in which the correct answer is atorvastatin. This one is selective COX-2 inhibitor. So students, try to note down these classification in your notebook, so, and get revised on time, so there will be no problem for while you are attempting the questions. So next question is, all of the following are fat soluble vitamin except, option A is vitamin A, option B is vitamin K, option C is vitamin C, and option D is vitamin E. So which all of the following are fat soluble vitamins except which is not the fat soluble vitamin? And the correct answer is vitamin C is not the fat soluble vitamin. It is a water soluble vitamin. How you can learn the water soluble vitamin? So just make a mnemonics, WBC means water soluble vitamins is B and C, and fat soluble vitamins are Adik. Just learn is Adik. Adik is very having fat in their body. So, and they are having their chemical name retinol, calcitriol, phylloquinones, tocopherol. So students, just try to learn this classification, and the correct answer is vitamin C is not fat soluble vitamin, it is a water soluble vitamin. Here we have just explained. So moving on the next question, Hausner ratio is calculated by, option A is Hausner ratio is equal to tap density by pore density, option B is Hausner ratio is equal to pore density upon test density, option C is bulk density upon true density, or option D is bulk density upon void volume. So Hausner ratio is calculated by which formula? And the correct answer by which we can calculate Hausner ratio, it is very easy students. You tap density upon pore density, you can learn is TD upon PD. So here we have explanation that Hausner ratio is a number of number that is correlated to the flowability of a powder, granular powder. It is named on the engineer, that is Henry H. Hoshner, and it is calculated by the tap density upon bulk density. Oh, sorry, A is equal to so it is a formula where you can just learn that it is the freely settled bulk density of the powder, and it is the tapped bulk density of the powder. So the Hoshner ratio is not an absolute property of a material. Its value can vary depending on the methodology used to determine it. So students, moving on the next question. Talc is sterilized by, and the options are: option A is dry heat, option B is moist heat, option C is radiation, option D is tyndallization. So talc is sterilized by which method? This question is asked various times in your exams, in your competitive exams. So according to this, the correct answer is dry heat. Talc is sterilized by dry heat. So here we have explanation on the option wise, that dry heat is for talc, that is solid powder, is sterilized by dry heat. Dry heat is usually used for the materials, tools in which steam cannot easily penetrate, where moist heat is used for range of products such as acetal, glass, liquids, polypropylene, PTFE, fibers and celluloses. And coming on the radiation sterilization and tyndallization, where radiation sterilization are done on plastic and rubber based materials were used, that is hypodermic syringes, sutures, implants, infusions and blood transfusion sets, surgical gloves, catheters, blood collecting sets, pharmaceutical containers, petri dishes and other products. So students, just try to memorize these. And what about the tyndallization? Tyndallization occur for 3 successive days at a different temperature. We can sterilize at 3 successive days with different temperature. It is used to kill bacteria and its spore. So it's all about this question. Moving on the next question, that inhibitor of HIV infusion with host cell is: option A is ribavirin, option B is enfuvirtide, option C is amantadine, option D is rimantadine. So which is the inhibitor of HIV infusion with host cell is? The correct answer is enfuvirtide. So just students, try to learn that it is a fusion inhibitor. So it is a fusion, means its name indicates that FU, it is a fusion inhibitor. So here we have just a schematic diagram where you just having that where it blocked the entry. So in this is a fusion inhibitor, enfuvirtide, and there are various drugs, maraviroc, pembrolizumab, which is used as fusion inhibitor, where it can't fuse. So and here the uncoating can be blocked by amantadine, rimantadine, and nucleic acid synthesis is blocked by NRTI, acyclovir and phoscarnate sodium, and where protease inhibitor is this, and the neuromidase means there is a, if the bacteria enter into the cell, then there is a penetration and uncoating done, protein synthesis occur, nucleic acid synthesis occur, and protein synthesis occur, and processing. After this, packaging can be done, and it try to penetrate from the cell to make more bacteria, more means divide into various cells. So it is also blocked by neuromidase inhibitor. So this is the cycle of the. So moving on the next question, name the India's first dedicated spacecraft for defense applications. Option A is GSAT-10, option B is GSAT-7, option C is GSAT-8, option D is GSAT-8A. So the India's first dedicated spacecraft for defense applications, and the correct answer is GSAT-7 is the first India's dedicated spacecraft for defense application. So let's discuss. Here we have just paragraph to understand this. that India's first exclusive defense satellite is GST-7 was launched successfully by European Space Consortium, that is Ariane Space Ariane 5 rocket from Kourou spaceport in French Guiana on Friday, giving a major push to the country's maritime security. So the correct answer is GSAT-7. And the next question is, the membrane around the vacuole is called, option A is amyloplast, option B is alveoplast, option C is cytoplast, option D is tonoplast. So the membrane around the vacuole is called, and the options are having, and the correct answer is tonoplast. The membrane around the vacuole is called tonoplast. Here we have explanation that the function of the vacuole include isolating materials that might be harmful or to threat to the cells, containing waste products, containing water in the plant cells, maintaining internal hydrostatic pressure or sugar within the cells, maintaining an acidic internal pH, containing small molecules, exporting unwanted substance from the cells, allow plants to support structures such as leaves and flowers due to the pressure of the central vacuole. So here we have just schematic diagram to make you better understand. So moving on the next question, students, what is the next number? Just see, we are having a given series of this number. Student, this is very interesting question. Just observe with very calm. Option A is 13, option B is 15, option C is 17, and option D is 19. So what is the next number here? What is the next number? Just students observe this series, that at what gap the numbers arises. So according to this series, the correct answer is 13. How it is possible, student? Just try to sort out this problem, that 5 is the first number, and after that 6 is the third one number, and after that 7 is the third number, where 9 is having for a second number and 11th is having fourth number. So they are having a 2 gap and they are having a 1 gap. So according to this, if 9 is second number, after that the 11 comes, and after 11 the plus 2 option, and the correct answer is 13. Students, it is very easy. Just try to understand the concept, guys. Here we have explanation that this is the explanation, students. This is the 5 and the plus 1 gap is 6. After that is the plus 1 gap is 7, and here we have a 9 plus 2 gap is 11, and after that 11 2 is 13. So students, it is very easy. Just the correct answer is 13. So the last question of this video is, with which of the following sports are the Ryder Cup and Courtiers Cup associated? Option A is soccer, option B is volleyball, option C is golf, option D is physical analysis. So which of the following sports are the Ryder Cup and Courtiers Cup associated? And the correct answer is golf. It is associated with the golf. Here we have explanation that the Ryder Cup is a biennial men's golf competition between Europe and the United States, and the Courtiers Cup is the best known team trophy for women's amateur golfers awarded in the biennial Courtiers Cup match. So this is all about this video, students. Thanks for watching.